it is a civil preparedness program which Mary Ellen Walaka, our Human Services Director, has put together, and she's going to give us an update about what that program is, when it's going to be held, and who's invited.
Okay, thank you, Rick. I just want to let you know that we have what's called a triad, and that's members of the police department, senior center, and also agencies that serve the senior population. We're the committee that meets, and we do programming through the year to keep seniors safe in their home, or to educate them in regards to issues that would keep them safe, such as fraud, identity theft, and so forth. And the program that we decided to concentrate on this year is a panel discussion on civil preparedness. And it's going to be also co-sponsored by UI and Southern Connecticut Gas. The UI company gave us $500, and we purchased these snap lights, a couple in my purse there, that are wonderful for the seniors. We've given them out about 5 years ago, and we thought it was really valuable. These are lights that you just snap, and they stay lit for 12 hours. So we have a panel put together. Ray Stewart, as you know, he's our lead in the civil preparedness plan for the town. He's going to speak on how to prepare yourself and what you need in an emergency kit. I'm going to speak on the emergency shelter and what transpired this year when we opened the shelter 2 times. Also, we are going to have a Red Cross representative. We're going to have Leslie Mulch from Quinnipiac Valley Health District, Paul Needman from District Animal Control, so he can explain to people what they should do with their animals, and also Vinnie Glazero, the town's liaison with the UI company. We also did get Lifetime Solutions. It's a sub-agency of DNA to provide the dessert that day. And we hope, even though it's designed for seniors and disabled residents, we hope anyone who sees our signs, we're going to be putting out large sandwich boards with signs that say all are welcome to attend. It is during the day, but we welcome any Woodbridge resident to attend. I don't know if anyone has questions on that program. I just wanted to follow up a little bit on civil preparedness to tell you what else we've been doing. Since the 2 storms, Ray Stewart and myself, we did meet with DNA. And one of the reasons why we did meet with DNA Home Care is because there is a need to shelter special needs people. And what we found out is, even though the shelter was wonderful, we got excellent letters thanking us for the services provided. What we found is many of the people that come in are frail, elderly, or they might have health issues and so forth. And how can we better service them and accommodate them? So we met with DNA. They're going to get back to us with a written proposal on what they can do to assist in this situation. Ray has also ordered 4 accessible cots. First time we opened the shelter, there was an elderly woman. She couldn't go into the gym and sleep on the cot, so she had to sleep on the couch, and it made it difficult because 5 seniors got up during the night, and there was really no place for them to congregate except in the cafeteria there. So we're working on some of these issues. We've also met with the Red Cross. We met with Quinnipiac Valley Health District, and Leslie Balch, many of you do know her, she's the director there. She was quite helpful. The next time we open up a shelter, she has a list of EMTs, registered nurses. She's going to send us one or two people to work with our residents. Ray's in the process of setting up a community meeting with Willows of Woodbridge and also the 2 assisted living facilities to discuss, what transpired during the storm, how we can work together and so forth. For Hurricane Irene, we did send a couple to Coachman Square and another couple for the snowstorm into Emeritus. everything went well. When we did have the 2 storms, but we wanted to work on some issues that we feel we can do better. And we want to educate the community on, you know, what is available and what to do and what they need as far as supplies to be prepared. And I think, you know, the next time we have to open the shelter, we'll be able to disseminate more information, and people will be better prepared and what to do. Some good ideas. One of the things I do want to mention, though, we had, you know, 14 to 16 people in the shelter, and we were able to accommodate them. But should we have 50 to 75, you know, we do have other employees, and we have the Human Services Commission and a few other volunteers we could call in. But we really need to think about that and how we could best service a large number of residents should they need it. Because now we don't have the CERT team. That is a big piece missing. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I don't know if you have any questions. I will tell you, though, that you can be proud of the fire department here and of the police department. They were actually wonderful. They were such a good support system, and I know with the fire department, Sean had the alarms going off all night, calls going off all night. He gave me his cell phone. They were there. If we needed anything, they were wonderful. The police, again, were wonderful. They came to the shelter. They checked on the people during the night, so that the people really were not scared. And, you know, most of them, like I said, were elderly. They felt safe, and they felt that, you know, the town was doing a good job. So I do want to say that because they were wonderful. It's a good team here. Really proud of that.
So this is open to the public on January 24th?
It is. It's during the day. You know, if people ever wanted us to do it at night, we'd be willing to do it at night, as long as we can get the other members of the panel there. Anyway, that we can get the information out to the people, we'd be happy to do so. And we are going to have these lights available. I'm sure we'll have extras available. We'll put it in the paper. So that if people can't make the program, they can pick up these lights.
I have a question. Is it the kind of program that will be potentially broadcast so people who can't make it during the day can view it on Channel 79?
Go
I don't know. I'm asking.
That's a good suggestion.
Well, see what's in the budget for a camera person at that time. It's a little stretched out.
Skip dessert and tell them to pay for the camera.
No, it's a good idea. It's wonderful because people do watch it.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Excellent.
It sounds like an important content to get out there.
Well, thank you, Mary Ellen, for
Thank
taking
you.
the time to put this together. And again, it's January 24th, 2012 at 12:30 p.m. at the Senior Center.
And we are collecting names of volunteers too, of people that can help, should we need them in the future. So if you do know of anyone, they can just contact anyone in our department, and we'll be happy to put them on the list.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the Beecher Road School Energy Study, and we have with us tonight Jeff Kaufman, who's chair of the Beecher Road School Building Committee, Sheila McCrevin, who's a member of the Woodbury Board of Education, and John Rice from AKF Group. And they have a proposal to provide energy auditing services for the Beecher Road School. So, Jeff, you want to just give us a little update on what the Beecher Road School Building Committee is doing, and then this proposal from AKF.
I don't think I like sitting on this side.
Well, you're not on the road. So.
Oh, there you go. I feel better. Okay, so the Beecher Building Committee that's been set up was in response to the last building committee, and the numbers for that project came in quite large. So the goal of this building committee is to try to figure out exactly what needs to be done, and the goal is to actually phase the project in such a way so that we don't have to actually go out for a referendum. We can actually set it up so that we can apply for funds in your capital budget. So every year there'll be some funds going in different phases for the project. I got 13 emails today from Sheila to remind you that we're looking for funds for 2013.
13 emails, 2013.
Lucky 13.
Exactly. So one of the, again, and also one of our main purposes is really to try to seal the end. There's a lot of different things going on. There's roof issues, there's window wall issues, there's mechanical issues, and making the building a little more green and more efficient and try to save the town funds. So we're looking at a number of things which I'm going to leave to John, who we would like to engage the services of AKF, and they're doing a complete analysis of the building along with the analysis that has been done. Is going to combine them, and also they're in charge of finding us outside funds that we may be able to raise in order to take the tax credits of the things that may be put onto the building. So I'll let John vouch for himself.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay,
Now, we have in our packet a copy of your letter of December 9, 2011, and your proposal.
Great.
Okay.
My name is John Rice. I'm a partner at the firm AKF Group. AKF Engineers is a subsidiary under AKF Group. And AKF is a full-service mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection firm. We do comprehensive services, but we've been engaged for this project for energy services and energy study of the Beecher Road School. Our scope of work will be, first, of course, to interview the facilities personnel, to do a complete survey of the building. And we've already obtained all the utility bills and then all the previous studies that have been done. There have been a number of studies, I think we have 4 or 5 of them in our office now that have already been done in the facility. So the first thing we want to stress is that we're not going to duplicate any efforts that have already been done. We're going to combine all of them into one document, and we want to stitch them together and then pull in some important pieces that we feel have been left out of previous studies. One of the big ones is we're going to do an analysis of the facade of the building. There's been all these studies of mechanical problems and mechanical systems that need upgrade. But a lot of things about energy is just the integrity of the building envelope. So we've engaged this firm called the 4 Elements Group, and they do infrared scans of buildings, and they do blower door tests just to see how well the building facade is performing. So that's going to be number one, because it's a very low cost, high impact way to improve your energy performance of the building. So we're going to do that one. The next thing is we're going to analyze a lot of renewable energy options, solar PV, solar thermal, geothermal. We know your boilers have been one item that you've had consistent maintenance problems with. So we want to analyze, there's been a lot of recommendations to replace the boilers. You could replace it with a very high efficiency geothermal heat pump system that could pay back very quickly. So along with all these renewable energy options, a lot of the financing incentives for them involves tax incentives, which the district can benefit from directly. But if a third party finances, does the actual work, and they own it, they could sell you power, so they could benefit from the tax incentives. It's an alternative way of financing the improvement, where you can pull it off your books, somebody else could do the work, and then they get paid back on the energy savings that you would have over some period of time. So that's going to be another component that we're going to put into the report that we give you, and just say if you don't have all the funds to finance it directly, that there's other companies that can finance it, and this is what those financing options would look like. So that's another piece that we want to present to you as well. And then the final one is what Jeff alluded to. We're going to help with this phased capital infrastructure plan. So we'll come up with these whole menu of options that would be good to do, and we'll help you phase in over a series of time so it matches up with your capital budgets. So that's kind of a broad overview. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions?
I actually, this maybe is for any one of you. This is north, south, the pool, everything? The
Yes.
whole, everything?
Everything.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just had one question about this fee design rate schedule. It's from 2011.
Is it changing?
It will not change.
Okay.
no.
Other than that, I think it's.
And we'll have a
Yeah.
funding request later.
Yes.
So,
Good.
any questions?
One
Okay, Dick.
quick question, I'm sorry. But, at the Board of Education and at the level of the administration, there's repeated references to the roof on the A wing of the building. And I think that's something that the building committee would like to consider for the next fiscal year already. I don't know how quickly, should this be approved and should your firm be hired? I don't know how quickly you might be able to add new information to that.
Now, that's a potential roofing project?
That's correct.
From what I understand, there was a separate, at our last meeting, there was an infrared scan of the roofs, and that might have been taken up separately.
Yeah, we've actually done some, Board of Education has authorized some repairs out of the current operating budget. But we're very keen to make sure, and Dr. Stella and Al have both brought this to the building committee meetings, and we're very keen to get the issues with the roof in the north of the building, which date back, I think it was 1987 the last time there was a layer put on top of this, so it's definitely due. But to get that into the first phase, and if we can get funding that begins this summer, it means we might be able to, get a solution in place. We want to be very careful though. We're also talking about solar, we're talking about green roof, and we're talking about other systems. This is why the phasing component of the work John is going to do is going to be so important. So he's going to keep all those elements in mind and then bring us a plan that sews everything together.
Well, I guess that's what I'm asking though. The urgency that.
Yeah, they patch.
Well,
what was
after
leaking.
the school did an infrared of just the roof. And so we know exactly where the areas are that are leaking. And those they might have already been.
Yeah, they were already.
I think they're already completed to go and patch those areas. So that right now there's not still water going in there. And then once.
This is a patch on top of a patch on top of a patch. And,
Right.
It was only, I think it was under $5,000 to patch it, so it came out of our operating, but we don't want to put patches on again next winter if we can get a roof up there.
Well, and also if we are going to put anything else up there like solar or a green roof, they won't put anything on that roof unless it's got at least 10 years of life left.
Right. We have to address it first. That will be first phase, I'm almost sure.
Okay, well, I just want to understand that you're working in concert toward something that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest challenge we have is to keep all projects, make sure the building committee is aware of everything that's happening and can make a larger plan. And then also keep the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance apprised of what the plan is so that you can budget for it. So this is step one.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, John.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a presentation from Everbridge. Francis Willett is here. Everbridge is the emergency notification system that we have here in Woodbridge, and Mr. Willett is going to give us an overview of that and other options that are available to us.
Be a little crooked on the screen there. Anyone that's crooked has table food. If you don't mind, I'm going to stand here, if that's all right?
Sure, it's fine. Do you want us to turn the lights off, or
Let's see, should
go
be
that light anyway?
Be a little crooked, but you should be able to see. So, introduce myself. My name is Francis Willett. I'm the Director of Professional Services for Everbridge. I'm also the Emergency Management Director in Durham. And I have been this guy. Before I joined Everbridge, we have a very small event you probably know, the Durham Fair. It's 100 residents is our president, Gene Chipetta, and we've had many incidents there in town, and also during weather events and hurricanes and floods and winter events and ice storms that we decided as a town that we needed a better way of communicating. And similar to what you're doing with the state CT alert system that Everbridge provides. So the system that the town currently uses under the state of Connecticut is called CT Alert, or it's the Everbridge system, the same system that you have as a municipality the option to buy into. The state has guaranteed pricing through the Everbridge company for all cities and towns to utilize it if they wanted to set up their own municipal system. So when I talk about a municipal system, it's basically a system that's branded for the town of Woodbridge. Same functionality that the police department uses today for its staff-based notifications or internal department notifications, but they're limited to only being able to use the system for emergencies. Under the state statute, the database that drives it is the 911 database, the same database that you use when you dial 911 and it goes to the police department to deal with your emergency. So the municipal option that we'll talk about later is an option for you then to brand a emergency notification system like Woodbridge Alert. In Durham, we call it Safer Durham. And it allows us to use it for non-emergency use as well. And that is, snow plowing, road closures, buildings that might be closed for non-emergency purposes, but might be, power outage in a building and it's not going to open. The library, for example, may not be open because something's wrong in the building. So those types of non-emergency notifications, residents could go to a website like they do on the state system, but they can go to a website that's on your town website and sign up, essentially. Give their name, give their address, give maybe another work location. Maybe they have their work is here at the town hall, but they live down the street. They could have 2 locations. So if there's an emergency around their house, or there's an emergency around this building, Deputy Chief Stewart or your emergency management personnel or the first select person could actually draw on a map, and I'll show you your map in a second, around this building, all around the streets, and just say, I want to call the 6 people that are around this building and let them know that there's an issue at the town hall and not to be worried. So I know this is sort of a melodramatic slide, but I can tell you that I've used the system personally, and also there's over 100 cities and towns in the state that are using the Everbridge platform to deal with emergencies. Everbridge is a California-based company. Sorry, it's crooked. If you all get headaches at the end of the presentation, you'll know why. We're a California-based company where our corporate headquarters are. We also have offices in Waltham, Mass. And around the world. We really focus on exactly what you're trying to do. Manage incidents within your staff and employees, and also manage information out to your residents and businesses. And we have 2 modules within the system that allow you to easily do that. We focus solely on this type of term called mass notification or emergency notification. And a lot of these cities and towns and corporations obviously use it for different purposes, but the same message is the same, use is the same. They have a message that has to go out quickly. They have to select people that they want to contact, and then they want to go to multiple devices. They want to go to homes, cell phones, email addresses, text messaging, faxes. And when those devices come in, it's going to ask that person, resident, business, or employee, to confirm that they received it. So if they're on a phone, they're going to press 1. If they have an email, they're going to press the link on the email. If they get a text message, they're going to type the word yes that they received it. And instantaneously, the person who sent the message or a first select person or emergency service personnel can see on a screen exactly who's responding. You need to call all of your, call everyone in this room or at the table to an immediate conference call. You could select all of these individuals. They would get a phone call or an email saying, please dial this conference call, and the email would give them conference information, but on their cell phone it would actually automatically connect them into the conference call. The message would say, this is Francis Willett, please stand by for a conference call. And you wait, you have the really bad elevator music, and you press 1 to join the conference call, and then you're immediately on the conference call. Typically it takes about 18 seconds for the first phone to ring. Our system is very, very fast. We have a huge amount of phone lines and horsepower in our corporation. 2 operations center, redundant operations centers, and it's off-site. So there's no physical hardware that is either in the state of Connecticut or here in town. It's all done through the web. You need an air card, wireless air card, or a tablet, or a internet-based computer. So you could be doing this from your home as long as you have an internet connection. The way this works is simply, obviously, you have to identify, as I talked about, 3 steps. Who am I calling? Whether it's staff or residents or businesses or both. What do I want to say? So you record the message in your voice or you type it out so you can have the email. And then how do you want it to go out? So Kathy, Tom, Mike, Julie, and Fred, just consider that to be all the employees of the town hall. The message I'm reporting is the town hall is going to be closed due to the winter storm. Please, it's advised that all employees stay home and work and telecommute. Any questions, please call the town hall or call the storm line. When it goes out, for me, when I get a message like that, I want it to go to my email first, send me a text message second if I don't respond to that email, and cell phone call. You'll notice that there's checkboxes there for them confirming. So Kathy immediately confirms in her cell phone, I got the message, thank you. Tom, we don't know if Tom got the message, he didn't respond. And if the person doesn't respond, we then will wait a certain period of time that you get to determine, and then we'll send a second call. But what we do is we only do it to the people who did not confirm. So you're not calling all 50 people all over again with the same message because they already said they got it. And this whittles down your call list very, very quickly. And for your town's similar size to ours, about 12 minutes it takes us to do 13,000 people in our system. So, and this is through all their different devices. So very, very fast, very, very quick. We were obviously affected by the clean energy explosion, and 30 minutes after we were told exactly what the issue was from the incident commanders on the ground, we were able to call all of our residents and let them know that the explosion was localized to Middletown. There's no threat to Durham residents, and please, if you have any property damage, please let us know.
So that's an emergency situation.
That's an emergency situation.
For which there's no charge.
Correct. On the state system, yes, there's no charge. It's provided free of charge for the state. An example would be, H1N1 clinic, or there's a flu clinic, or the senior center is closed for today, and you're just calling maybe your senior community or people who have signed up for senior alerts. Public works projects, you may have a program where you will notify somebody on Main Street that Public Works is going to have the road shut down from 12 to 2 to put in a drainage pipe. Please use alternate routes. That would be non-emergency notification. That's where you would use your municipal. Obviously, I'm not a salesperson. I'm an actual user, and someone who would teach you how to use it. So one of the things we work with you on is, if you do go this route, on what are the devices you're going to capture for your staff, and then a web page for your residents and businesses that they would go online and sign up for. So obviously we can connect to any type of device that's out there. And we strongly believe that through our system and training, we can give you a system that's going to make it more than just making a phone ring. Anyone can hook up a phone line to a computer and make your cell phone and computer ring. We bring a whole process that's been very successful and proven, large scale and small scale. To show you how this fits together, this is a real event that had happened, and obviously with Irene and Alfred, I could probably make 60 slides of towns that have done this successfully. But this one really highlights one that would happen similar in this side of towns on this side. Stoning, Mystic, Big, and Pawcatuck, towns that we all know. But they had a 20-year flood that was targeting them really early in the morning. The chief elected officials, the emergency services, and the police and fire all decided that they were going to have to evacuate targeted areas. They sent out a notice to the entire town letting them know that there would be a call coming shortly to let them know that if you get a call, it means you must evacuate. Half hour later, the first select person wanted the EOC staff to be on a conference call so he could direct them and get them to work with the first responders to manage this event. And in the center section, you can see these numbers, 111, 118, 272, 1675. They didn't go to all 20,000 residents of these three towns. They went into the mapping application, the GIS system, and using the data that's provided, the actual physical resident data, they were able to select those areas from their floodplain maps, exactly the number of residents they needed to evacuate. Before they sent those notices, they sent out a fire person and a police officer, and they basically directed those people to talk to those folks as they're exiting. And online, they were able to get reports of who had evacuated and who didn't. And when they had those people that didn't evacuate, they were able to recall them and get the message out. So this is a whole life cycle of an incident. It's not just 1 hour that something's happening. This was over a multi-day period. And at the end, there was a citywide notification to folks letting them know that this is where FEMA is located for you to do your insurance claims and your FEMA paperwork, and any other information should be directed to the first selectman's office. So very, very powerful use of the system and very successful use of the system. I'll leave you this presentation. I'll email it to you and to Anthony. I've worked closely with Anthony and Chief Stewart for a couple of months now with the state side. So the way your town looks in Everbridge, Obviously, this is the CT alert notification system, but your municipal system would look the same if you chose to do that. The 911 database, the business data, and the people who have opted into the system, the total number of residents that we have in the system is about 5172. And obviously, that's physical location, so multiply that times 2.3, and you're going to get your rough population, or your true census population. But basically, I am 3 mouse clicks away from calling 5,000 people with this image. You select the people on a map, you then record your message, and then you tell it what devices you want to call. I want all the devices that the person is registered for. You hit send. 30 seconds later, people's phones start ringing, or emails, or text messages. Very, very powerful. It's also a public awareness campaign. Whether you market the CT Alert state system, the state has a whole series of press releases and buttons to put on your website for the residents to go and sign up. Actually, Irene, a lot of your residents, I think about 700 of your residents have already signed up to the CT Alert platform because Governor Malloy in his press conference said go to ctalert.gov and sign up, and people did. So the Chief Stewart and his staff, when they were doing your emergency alerts, I think you did 2 or 3 of them for Irene and a few for Alfred, you were utilizing the people who signed up their other devices in those broadcasts. But the bottom line is, the person will look at their cell phone or home phone at the caller ID that comes in. You're going to tell them what that caller ID is, so you're not like me, who has to have it in my address book, or I have to truly recognize it, otherwise it goes to voicemail. The person's going to pick it up, they're going to listen to the message, and it's going to say press 1 to listen to the message. When they press 1, we know we have someone with a heartbeat, someone truly listening to the message. And then we'll actually track that they actually listened to the entire message and press 1 at the end that they confirm receipt. And that comes into a status screen that you're able to track. And it's also very good for FOI and auditing when 6 months from now somebody calls back and says, well, you never called me, and I didn't know about the emergency, and something happened. Well, sorry, Francis, we called your cell phone, we called your home phone, you hung up twice, you sent an email, you didn't confirm, and we sent you 3 text messages and a fax, and none of those devices you confirmed, and no, these are the times that we sent them to you. So, very, very powerful. Public awareness campaign that I'm a marketing consultant by trade and decided not to travel for the rest of my life, so I came to work for Everbridge to do this, but we can help you with the actual campaigns to your constituents. Every town's different. I've gone through hundreds of towns, and even my own, and I know that certain towns have certain ways of communicating these types of things, especially if you're going to go to your senior community. It's about 30% of your population that may not want to put their information into a computer, don't have a computer, need assistance doing that. So we have technology and abilities to help you do that. Obviously, if you go to YouTube and type in Everbridge, you're going to see a lot of towns like yourself. Commander, who's now a chief of police, Matt Reed from South Windsor Police Department, is almost like a rock star. He recorded a whole bunch of PSAs that have been over-plagiarized for the last 4 or 5 years. But there are a lot of things you can do electronically, a lot of things you can do through your public access channel. So very, very powerful. The biggest thing is teaching your constituents what to do when the phone rings or when they get the email. That's the most important thing. And it also, once they know that you're not going to abuse it and use it for the church bazaar is open, or I'm running for election, which some towns did in the state. You have to realize that there's limits to what you're going to use. This is a very powerful technology, and also you can go one bad phone call could offset, take months to recover from. Also, your employees, Public Works and snow crews. I just did a deployment for Boston Public Works. They're going to be using it for deploying their Public Works snowplow operators. So when a certain number of inches of snow happen, they only have a certain set of crews, not a free-for-all for all these crews to come in and get overtime. If you get the call, you get the overtime. If you don't get the call, you don't get in your plow until you get it. So there's a lot of really creative ways you can go and manage your employees and the information that goes to them as well. And we also have an app for that. I was going to give you a demo, but obviously I can come back and show you how the state system is used, as well as if you'd like to see a demo, I can give one, but I know I have limited time. The bottom line is we're also going into the platform of people with cell phones and tablets and mobile devices. We do have a mobile app that works with BlackBerries currently, but this one we're just deploying now, which does tablet-based and Android-based applications. So instead of having a computer where you're actually recording your messages either on a computer or on a phone, you can do it right from your cell phone and send notifications. You can actually get the recording while you're in the street, and you can also go through and customize it and then in the summer, we're going to take the GIS component and put it into the tablet. volunteer fireman and also emergency management director, and I've gone mostly electronic. And I've done more broadcasts on an air card in my computer in my car than I've probably done on my desk. And this is the next way, a method of where most people are not going to be physically in the town hall, and may not be. They'd be in their home or on the side of the road in their car, sending the broadcast out. So we're really blazing the trail and being one of the first companies to actually have these multiple devices that you can actually send notifications out with. So very, very high level. I know I only have about 15 minutes of your time. I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, any questions? How does a resident enroll for the emergency aspect of this?
So for today, the CT alert system has been up for about we're on our third year with the system. They can go to ctalert.gov, or and on that website is obviously a page that they would sign up. They have to create a user ID and a password. So it's just simply to go in and give your a normal login that you do, because it gives you the ability to go back and manage it. So you change cell phones and change emails, you can go back in and change how you want to receive alerts. So ctalert.gov, and that allows the resident to go and sign up.
And did you indicate how many residents of Woodbridge have done that?
Yes, I believe it was in the 900 number, I think, if I could look it up.
Have you found a certain percentage of people just aren't going to log on and register, and what's the normal percentage and what do you do about that?
That's a great question. It's about what I've experienced. Towns of this size, and obviously even large towns like Atlanta and the city of Boston, it's like 30% of your population, and it's don't trust computer. Big Brother's watching me, but still want to get the alerts, or just physically don't have a computer or have the knowledge or ability to do it. So having a program like we have in Durham, but also it's very easy to set up, is just like an emergency management hotline or a storm line. Create a number, whether it be a Google Voice number or a number off your town hall switch, separate from your main number, and that is your Safer Woodbridge or local number that people can call into. Hi, this is Francis Follett. I want to sign up for these alerts. I got a flyer in the mail. This is my information. I live at 123 Main Street, and my home phone is this, my cell phone is this, and my email is that. And then you basically have a staff person go through and can basically, you're mimicking their keystrokes, basically. You're going in and putting in a fake user ID and password and filling out their information for them.
So what does Durham have as a percentage of non-registered people now?
We're about 2,000 registered out of the 7,000 people that are in the system, and that's been about 3 years.
30%. And what about Woodbridge?
But then we have we also have the white page data that you load, and obviously the state has the 911 database, which is a little bit larger. That's the AT&T listed and unlisted database that's in the system. So you have the majority of your population in the database to at least get phone numbers, but if you want cell phone, email, text messaging, you have to go to the website and sign up. I'll answer your essentially, I've just loaded a shape that Chief Stewart created, which draws your entire town and your boundaries. And then this has the white page business data, it has the 911 database from AT&T and Comcast and the major providers, and then it has the opt-in. So 406, I was a little off, I'm sorry. The 406 are the people who have basically, they didn't come to the town website because obviously you don't have anything off the town website yet. But this is simply, the way I glean this is simply those people that have seen the flyers, seen Lieutenant Vance on the TV spots at night, and then heard the governor during the storms
Honeywell or road system that they have existing now at the school?
Yes.
So this would,
Yeah, well, schools would have to go through the municipality to get access to the system, but yes, the town could send notifications to the residents that schools closed because of delays.
they would replace
Yeah.
basically.
We have a separate, my feeling on schools is that if you do decide to go that route, that just discuss that with Everbridge, because they will give you a separate, what we call an organization. I'm very critical about children's privacy and the children information and the parents' information in a system. I don't mix residents and kids, is my rule. So we would set up a separate, is it a school district or just a Woodbridge school system, public schools? Both. Okay, so the school district would have its own organization, and you would have parents and staff members loaded in that system separately. So the school district would have in our case, and what many school districts do, is the school superintendent will send out the notice saying the school is closed, and then the chief elected officials will do one to the residents. You might get parents who get 2 calls, but I find that most people, when they listen to the system and they know, oh, it's calling me back, they press 1 and then stop calling. So, but it's been very successful in the school districts that I've seen, just because of the speed. A lot of these superintendents, 4 o'clock in the morning is when they start deciding whether they're going to cancel or not, and they're back in bed in less than 30 minutes.
All right, thank you very much.
Stuart has the information on the second component, so if you do want to talk to him, we've already provided him those numbers, and but if there's anything else, he has. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, the next item on our agenda is Essex Printing, the Woodbridge Event Magazine, and William McMinn is here along with Suzanne Spires from Essex Printing, and some of you may have seen these type of magazines that are on the Eastern Shore, in Westbrook, and Clinton, and Madison, and Brantford, and Essex Printing is looking to go west and to start such a program here in Woodbridge. And so, Bill, you can, once we get these distributed, you can give us an overview of what you propose to do.
My name is Bill McMinn. I'm the president of Essex Printing. I'm here with Suzanne Spires, who's our chief financial officer. And for the last 15 years, we've been producing a magazine in the lower Connecticut River Valley and along the shoreline as far west as Madison. This magazine is really tailored to each individual town. There's articles in there from the first Selectmen, various organizations within the town, and what we do is we publish that quarterly. We go out and sell the advertising. The advertising helps defray the cost of the printing and the mailing. And essentially what we do is we mail it to every household in the town. So in the case of Woodbridge, we would be getting information from Ms. G and the rest of the departments, Park Recreation, Board of Education, other departments. You guys would coordinate all the information provided to us. We would do the design, and then we would essentially mail it. If you look at the various covers, covers of the magazines are generally photographs submitted by people within the town, or if you have a special event coming up, you can design a special cover just to address that particular event. So they're almost like Bibles in a lot of towns. People look forward to it. The advertisers love it because it goes to everybody. The towns love it because of the fact that they're able to get any message out that they want to virtually everybody's household. And it's just, for where we are, it's just an extremely well-received magazine. And we'd like to introduce it to the town of Woodbridge and other towns within the area.
Okay, and so how does this all work? Is there any expense to the town of Woodbridge to do?
There's absolutely no expense to the town of Woodbridge. All the expenses are ours, and the advertising that we generate cover the expenses. And as I said before, it's mailed, so you're guaranteed to get it into someone's home.
And you said they publish quarterly?
Yes, well,
Okay.
what we would do is we would sit down and we would determine, you know, when we could put you on the schedule. I would imagine that it would probably take us 2 to 3 months to get a salesperson in the area. You guys be able to coordinate internally how you're going to get us the material. And then we would go out and we'd start publishing on a certain date, and then we would do it each quarter from that point on. And like I said, we've been doing this for 15 years. What we have found is that the towns that really get behind this and get us the information are the towns that are the most successful with it. And yeah, in the case of Essex, where we're from, we've been doing theirs for 15 years, and had a meeting with the first selectman, and he's already excited about how many times he can put an article in there this year. So, like I
And the
said,
size, I'm sorry, the size just depends on how much information you get from,
the number of pages.
okay, the
Yeah,
town.
the number of
but-
pages are determined by the information you get and the
Okay.
number of advertisements.
Right, okay, and it wouldn't change if we had a lot or a little, or, I mean, because there's no cost, no matter what. There's
Not
no,
for you.
okay.
Do you publish an online edition
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's
for each town?
eventsmagazines.com. And what you can do is you can go on there and you can click onto your latest edition.
And I see in the Westbrook one, and you say in this issue, there's something from the first selectman, there's flood information,
Right.
land conservation trust, emergency management, zoning enforcement, holiday parade, and tree lighting, and things of that sort. So various town boards and commissions can contribute to this magazine, the articles and that sort of thing.
The upcoming Essex Events magazine, they have the Eagles that are in, and they have a big festival about the Eagles, and that's what this entire next issue is about for them. So, you know, we get all that information, we get it out to the general public.
And do you establish any kind of a legal relationship with the town? Is there a contract, or how does this work?
We haven't in the past, but it's a good question. It's something that we probably should consider. It's really just, you know, good faith that we're operating on now, and you know, the big support is getting the advertisers to help support the cost of the magazine.
Any questions?
Still 9 towns?
Currently, we're doing 9 towns. There's interest, obviously, here. There's also interest in Guilford. And then we're also going to be looking to expand in other areas within the next couple of years.
Gets mailed just like this, and the address?
Yes, there's no address. What's interesting is the post office just allows us to bring it to your post office, and then they just pick it up and they bring it out without any. We do pay postage, but we don't have to put postal carrier or address or anything on
Just
there.
put it in every mailbox.
Yes.
Okay, any further questions? What's the consensus? Is there something we want to pursue?
Well, can I ask a question? We currently have, I shouldn't say we, the community has 2 other sources in newspaper form that would have the same sort of copy that presumably we supply. Is that correct? In the town, I mean, the Bulletin and the Observer.
The Bulletin and the Observer are all generated really through reporters.
So the information that, like about town events, that doesn't come from our boards and commissions and.
Oh, it does, yeah. But,
Right,
yeah.
and that's what
This
you
is-
would be looking for, is that same sort of what's going on from within the town.
One of the differences between newspapers and what we supply is that one is we are going into every home, and most newspapers don't. And maybe the newspapers you're referring to have
They're
some kind of
weekly.
distribution from their weekly. You know, we're quarterly. But what we found with these magazines is that people get them at their home and they keep them for a while. And it's just a tremendous source. I mean, we have newspapers in our markets too, but the towns like this more because it gets really into people's hands. And the residents really like it. Most residents look forward to receiving it.
I'm only asking the question from a distribution of labor point of view, meaning if to participate in this, you get the bulk of the copy or the bulk of the information from town resources. If we're doing that work anyway, correct?
Well,
To a certain extent,
To a certain extent, yeah.
not a great extent, but to a certain extent. then it's gonna be additional. Now, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, first of all, it allows for advertising from the businesses that are in our area. That's a
Right.
plus. Then that's how it's really run. And then it allows for specific information to be put into this, which is more, I suppose, reader friendly or user friendly. It's sort of like the Connecticut magazine in
Right,
that
right,
sense.
right,
That's
right. That's how it feels.
yeah, that's how it feels. That's the reaction to it anyway.
It's more your town. It's your information, your town magazine. It doesn't appear as though it's coming from us. It appears as though it's coming from you.
I wouldn't say that.
So, the consensus is we want to explore this.
I think it's a good idea.
I think particularly if it's good for the local businesses, I
Right.
think it's a very good thing to do.
Okay.
How many different towns could you typically deal with? Do you deal with someone in the first selectman's office, or is it?
Usually
Or do
someone is signed.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to, is,
So people would, someone would basically contact the same person each quarter to get things set up for the magazine?
We would
and then-
need someone to coordinate to get all this information to him on a quarterly basis.
That's correct. We would provide you with the deadline time that we need things, and we would call and just say, hey, we're going to be needing it next week, and then make sure we got that information in a timely manner. And then package it all together and get it out for you.
Okay? All right, so we'll proceed further with this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. It's, item number 5 on the agenda has been withdrawn, so anyone's here on that item. That's the street light at Jenick and Oak Hill Lane. So the next item on our agenda is public comments. And is there anyone here from the public who has any comments?
Good evening, First Selectman, members of the Board of Selectmen. Donald Salato, 3 Knollwood Road. I came, some friends asked me to come tonight and just speak at this session with some sentiments regarding the new Golf Commission and the
Country Club of Woodbridge Commission.
Country Club of Woodbridge Commission. And proposed membership. I am becoming increasingly aware that the undertaking of by the town of this property is complicated, complex, and extremely expensive. I also am been educated to the point that as we sit here this evening, time is really running out on getting the club, at least the playable part of the club, and advertising its availability is running short. Time is running short, and I am concerned, given the passions legitimately raised on all sides that were apparent in the weeks leading up to the recent referendum, paid some attention to and given some deference. And in that vein, it's my feeling that this whole parcel and the golf course itself have become an item of particular and special interest and heightened concern in the town, no matter what side of the issue one may be on. And this new commission needs to have the full support of the citizens of this town, and it has the full support in its mission, I hope, which is to get this golf course running properly, and with the season fast coming on us, it's also, I think, needs to have the confidence of the public. And there are many stories as to the demise of the Woodbridge Country Club. It was It could have been foretold. Some people did see it coming. I would suggest that individuals who have been a part of the death spiral of the Woodbridge Country Club are tainted by that experience, and because of that are marked by it, and would not have the full support and confidence of the citizens of this town at such a critical moment. I do not question the goodwill of men and women of this town. However, given the passions that have prevailed, I don't think that it is a wise or prudent decision to appoint individuals who have been intimately involved with a disastrously failed enterprise, which needs all of the support and confidence of the people right now. And I thank you for the time.
Are there any other comments?
Hi, Chris Dickerson, 6 Metler Street. I want to comment on the long-term future of the Country Club of Woodbridge property. I'm hopeful and encouraging the Board of Selectmen that you will work quickly and openly with as many residents of the town as possible to come up with some long-range plans for this property. I feel like in the last 2.5 years we have not looked at this property from a long-term perspective, and I think that it's going to cost us because we haven't done that, and we can't afford to continue on that path. We need to, I believe the Board of Selectmen needs to convene a committee of residents to help with some long-range planning. I think it should be separate from the commission that's going to oversee the operation of the golf course property. I think it should be people that are solely focused on the long-range use or disposition of this property. So I strongly encourage the Board of Selectmen to put that very, very high on your list of things to do. This is a very, very expensive piece of property which could cost us a lot more money if we don't plan its future carefully. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public?
Maria Kane, 1891 Litchfield Turnpike. I believe the same message was already said by Mr. Salato, but I wanted to reiterate it, and I wanted to repeat something that I actually said in one of the meetings. It came from a remark that Mr. Roger Harrison had said in our Conservation Commission. I'm a member of the Conservation Commission. It was his reaction to a remark I made, and I said, you know, to this date, I really don't understand how our town government is not fully aware of this golf course going down, and therefore a developer is able to buy the note from the bank for $3.5 million. Mr. Harrison said to us, after he had said that he was on the short list of the of being appointed to this commission that you're proposing for the Woodbridge Country Club, he said that he was a member of the board of directors of this country club, and he had no clue that it was going down. I said this once before, and I think it's a disservice to the town, continued disservice to the town, to put people on the board again who were supposed to be responsible for that board when it was going down. We bought some. It would look like we bought something from a failing organization, and we were giving it back to the same people to run it. So I think that you should keep that very close in your mind when you make the final decision on who is going to help you run this property. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other members of the public?
Bud Britton, 1800 Litchfield Turnpike, Woodbridge, Connecticut. Through the last several board meetings, the referendum and such, it has become overwhelmingly clear that the golf course is not a politics item, it's a Woodbridge item. Members of both sides of the proverbial fence have come out and, expressed their concern, expressed their opinions on what's going on. A couple of the previous speakers stressed, and I also wish to stress, that I think it would be completely inappropriate to have anyone affiliated with the Country Club of Woodbridge involved with this board going forward. I think we have enough people in this town with a diverse skill set, absolute genius, that we could pluck one or two of these other people and put them forward and let them help guide this country club to whatever the next phase would be. I think we need to, whether it's through your board or the new commission, not create the maelstrom that we've now created. We need whoever the next operator is to have a working relationship, not act as a de facto slumlord or not put stuff in newspapers. We need to work together to get this where it is. If we just have this continued discord, something that's already an albatross will become even a greater problem. We're going in the absolute wrong direction right now, and the politics of it should stop. We need to bail this town out of what's going on right now. The dollars and cents of it is no matter what political side of the argument wins, we're all going to lose on it unless the proper people are put where they need to be. We work together and we get this thing rolling. So I hope, contrary to some of the rumors that are out there, that the board might reconsider and put the proper people in place, regardless of their affiliation or lack thereof, and give this thing one last fighting chance before it sinks us.
Thank you. Any other members of the public?